Unit 2, Recording 4.
Professor Mitra, welcome to The Educators.
Thank you.
Now, last year you won from the online lecture series TED a $1 million prize for a project that you wanted to do, which was to build what they've called schools in the cloud. And as a result, you are in the process of putting 7 schools in the cloud. And the way they work, you call them SOLs, which is self-organised learning environments. Explain how they work now.
The self-organized learning environment tries to simulate the chaotic environment of the hole-in-the-wall experiment, which was computers outdoors with no supervision and children accessing it. The SOL attempts to do the same inside the classroom. So you have a few computers, you have lots of children usually, and you trigger the whole system off with a big question.
Give us an example.
You could, for example, ask them, why does hair grow? A typical 9-year-old would say, what do you mean? So I'd say, the hair on your head keeps growing longer and longer and longer, and then you have to cut it off. Why on earth does it do that? It doesn't seem to do that on animals. And then the magic starts off.
So what, you leave them alone in the room with a computer and they have to work out how to answer the question?
We call these the big questions. A big question is something that a child is attracted by and to which, preferably, no one really has the right answer.
Now, one of the things you've established in these cases that you're talking about, there's no adult involvement, you did discover that actually sometimes children do need a bit of help. And this is where what you've called the granny cloud comes in, which is this idea that there's a little bit of help from the British granny, I think was your perfect model.
Well, that came out of an experiment in India, which was designed to fail. I said, I'll give the children a task that is so hard that they couldn't possibly do it. The task I chose was undergraduate level genetics in English for 12-year-old Tamil-speaking children in an Indian village. I had a test at the end of it, which they'd gotten a 0 in to start with, and they got 30%. So I didn't want to stop there. I said, but how do I get that 30 up further? Because 30 is a fail. So what I got was a friendly local girl. She was 22 years old and a great friend of the children. They used to play together. And she says, biotechnology, I don't know anything about it. I didn't even have science in school. I said, look, you're the best I have here. You don't understand the subject, doesn't matter. Can you just go on encouraging them?
So go on, what happened?
50% in 2 months.
Purely from the encouragement?
Just from the encouragement.
So somebody just saying to the children, well done, you're doing really well.
Yes.
And they carry on doing it and they get their score up.
Anyhow, The Guardian was interviewing me. I said, will you put in just a couple of lines at the bottom saying that if you are a British grandmother, if you have broadband and a web camera, can you give me 1 hour of your time for free? Because I needed 1 million of them.
Right. So you created this granny cloud effectively.
It became the
on
granny
Skype.
cloud.
Look, let's hear how one of your classrooms, they've been called School in the Cloud, it's a classroom in the cloud, how it's gone down at Greenfield Community College in Newton Aycliffe in County Durham.
Right, we've got Max. Max is here.
My name's Lucy McCormick and I'm 13 years old and we're in room 13.
Maybe we shouldn't be quite so accepting.
Room 13 is a room where the pupils come in to ask a question from a granny who's in different parts of the country and they have to find out the answer independently.
You kind of work in groups and use the computers but talk to each other about what...
In room 13 there are no teachers because the pupils feel that the teachers give them a specific website to look on and they don't like it. In room 13 when the teachers aren't here you feel more open to what you can look at and what you can't look at because you're learning yourself and finding out what not to look at and what to look at.
My name's Thomas Kelly, I'm 15. Well, when we first heard about it, we thought, I don't really want to do it because it sounds really strange compared to normal lessons. But when we got in, it was really cool. Well, I know it's imbalanced between traditional ways of learning and modern because teachers like to stick with the tried and true methods and stuff. But in all honesty, they do need to move forward with the lessons because we get bored really quickly.
I never thought my education would include a room without a teacher in. It was frightening at first because I think we were all curious on what it was all about, but because we've had quite a few sessions in room 13, we know what it's all about now and we're not frightened to come in here without the teacher.